winning football games in the NFL is hard, and there's a lot of. I think there's a lot of mediocrity in today's NFL. I don't see the excellence that I saw in the past.
Why not?
And
why not? Why do you think that is?
I think the coaching isn't as good as it was. I don't think the development of young players is as good as it was. I don't think the schemes are as good as they were. I think the rules have allowed a lot of bad habits to get into the actual performance of the game. Mm-hmm. So I just think the product, in my opinion, is less than what it's been. I think guys are competitive. Guys play hard. I look at a lot of players like Ray Lewis and Rodney Harrison and Ronnie Lott and guys that impacted the game in a certain way. And every hit they would have made would have been a penalty, and your coach is complaining about their own player being tackled and not necessarily, why don't they talk to their player about how to protect himself, how to get rid of the ball, how to throw it, how to run out of bounds, how to get down, how to lower your pad level. We used to work on the fundamentals of those things all the time. Now they're trying to be regulated all the time. I think the offensive players need to protect themselves, not up to the defensive player to protect the offensive player. A defensive player needs to protect himself. You shouldn't ask the offensive player to protect him. And I think a lot of the way that the rules have come into play have allowed this. You can essentially play carefree, and then if anyone hits you hard, there's a penalty. And it's very different than how I played. I didn't throw the ball to certain areas because I was afraid players were going to get knocked out. Mm-hmm. That's the reality. I didn't throw it to the middle when I played Ray Lewis because you knock him out of the game, and I couldn't afford to lose a good player. So
that was Tom Brady on the Stephen A. Smith show. I believe that was yesterday's interview after he did his podcast with Denzel Washington, giving the general state of how the NFL's played today, and he's absolutely right. This is turned into we got to protect the other player mentality at this point. And that's the state of the NFL. There's too many rules. There's too many regulations. There's too many flags. There's too many referees getting FaceTime on television. And there's no big name defensive players anymore at this point that really are comparable to Ray Lewis, comparable to Ed Reed, Dwight Freeney, Terrell Suggs, Robert Mathis, Harry Douglas, Derek Brooks, Warren Sapp, Ronnie Harrison, Ronnie Lott, Deion Sanders, Asante Samuel. God, I can go on and on here about this, really. Bob Sanders, Brewski, Ted Johnson, Mike Vrabel, Albert Hainsworth. I'm trying to think of who else is another great defensive player. Troy Polamalu, James Harrison. Just the list goes on here of how many great players have been around the NFL over the years. And Brady's not wrong. The reason I opened up the show with that clip in particular here was because really that's the state of the NFL. And in spite of what we saw last night with the Eagles-Kansas City Chiefs game last night, despite that being a 21-17 game, you don't get that very often anymore in this NFL. You don't get it. It's all about high scoring, big numbers, stuff like that, protecting the other player, protecting the investment here for the owner. That's all it's about. It's all about the owners and getting them to just do. So I really didn't know how else I was going to start this today other than hearing that interview because I was at work today when I heard this interview. I was in my car listening to the interview. And that clip right there summed it up. And that could be a reason. And that was probably the most brutally honest Tom Brady's ever been. Now, a lot of people may hate it. A lot of people may dislike Tom Brady because of what his track record was. Being with a team that cheated a lot over the years and gave him all the flags and stuff like that. All the controversies, you could say whatever you want about him. Teams got overcame it and won the games, but they weren't good enough to beat the greatest of all time. Tom Brady's the greatest of all time, no matter how you look at it. 10 Super Bowls under his name. He's won with 2 different franchises. Beat every single franchise there is to beat in the NFL. And if you think about it, really retired great. Living the single life right now at this point, although there's been rumors now about him going back to Giselle, which I think those rumors have been dead at this point anyway, since this has happened, because in reality, there's been no drawback at this point. I mean, the idea would be interesting of those two getting back together, but, I have not heard one thing since the 1 year of them getting divorced. I think the idea of them getting back together after the year after they got divorced at this point, and after the model that she dated at this point, and the fact how he's done with dating models here, and she's back in the modeling game, this gives him more and more the reason why not to go back. And why now at this point now, I think Tom Brady's officially passed the test as far as being a complete, honest analysis goes when it comes to the product that he's going to be broadcasting next year. Beforehand, he was too political here. Here, he was just cutthroat and just went for the jugular in that interview. And I got to be honest here, it's all about protecting the quarterback. And you even saw it last night, late in the game with Fletcher Cox last night, getting called for roughing the passer. Yes, it was a late hit. I go by the amount of time you're allowed to give the quarterback before you pounce him. But Mahomes literally leaped right into Fletcher Cox, and Cox just absorbed the contact. That's all that was. The referees couldn't see that in that moment in time. Here are my opinions about the whole thing. They wanted Mahomes to have his comeback moment because they thought deep down they were still going to win the game regardless. So they wanted to give him as much as they could just so they can get out of there without being unscathed here. And hear the uproar from all sports radios tomorrow, the next day, and throughout the week here. And figure, hey, we're getting paid anyway to call whatever the hell we want to call here. Goodell's going to be happy no matter how you look at it anyway. We're not going to get fired now because he tried to fire us 10 years ago. That's the reality here at this point. We got a commissioner at this point that allows this stuff to happen. I know the NFL product right now is not as great as it used to be. It really isn't. I've heard people say it's been bad since 2007 when Brady went undefeated and they lost the Super Bowl that year. And that's not really from Patriot fans, really. In fact, if you think about it, for a lot of Patriot fans are still heartbroken by it, but some of them are actually looking at it and going, it was a humbling experience. Like, we couldn't win them all. My thought process was have a perfect season, stick it to Shula so Belichick wouldn't coach past the 70s. Well, they didn't have a perfect season, and now 16 years later, Belichick is still coaching in the 70s. So the way I see it, and I think the way everybody here, that's the reality. This is the current NFL that we're living in at this point anyway. And I know one has nothing to do with the other here in that scenario. Like, what does that got to do with it here? It's not much, but the way they describe the product at this point is an undefeated team, which I think is completely false. The product, I think, declined that 2010 season when all the helmet-to-helmet contact penalties started coming to play a lot more frequently than often. You don't see it was getting jacked up anymore. It's all about play to here. You worry about CTE and all that stuff right now, whatever the case may be. And they're all trying to protect each other here because, let's be realistic here, they're trying to protect their cash. That's all they're worried about at this point. They're worried about their investment here at this point. You're just a number in this opinion here, and the families don't like it. But here's the thing. You have a person who's playing in that league who's signing up to get hurt. You gotta deal with it. That's one way of looking at it. This is not ballet. You're not wearing tutus out there. You're wearing pads for a reason. You're wearing a freaking helmet. You're wearing a freaking mouthpiece. You're wearing a cup. When was the last time you saw a person playing ballet, putting football pads on and wearing a cup? That never happens. It's a rarity in this case. So I look at that and I say, you know what? This is the NFL product now at this point. We're playing flag football here at this point. It's getting to the point now where they're promoting it for the Olympics every year. Every year at this point now, they're gonna get the flag football thing. Once the Paris thing passes by, here's the story. You're gonna get a flag football league going on every year going forward for the next 4 years. In 2028 will happen again. In 2032 will happen again. It's gonna happen again to the end of time. Trying to do at this point. They're trying to see if that gets enough promotion. Here's the problem, though, with watching Summer Olympics here. No one is going to sit there and watch flag football. It's not a thing. You can try promoting on the NFL Network. You couldn't get viewers for this one as well. I don't see how you do it on an Olympic level unless you want to watch your favorite football player and you're in a crave to watch football. I really hope I can use the Wi-Fi here. I just lost my clock. Are we good? Still I'm good here. All right. I'm not sure what the hell just happened. Now I have no clock here at this point, so it's going by very slowly. Let me just go somewhere else. Continue this review, unfortunately, somewhere else. Because apparently now I can't continue it up here. So I might as well bring it downstairs. Gotta love it. Gotta love not having a service here. That's why I never do that in my room. That's why I never do it. But that's the point when it comes to Summer Olympics sports in general. There we go. Now I'm in a different location. Hopefully now there's not an issue here going forward with this. Here we go. Now we're on a medium. Now we're on a medium page here. So I apologize for that. I don't know why the hell that just happened just now. But I'm in a stronger location now. My black belt. That's that right there. Is the my black belt diploma. I am in my living room. Yes, of course. Much better setting. I hope. Hope nobody else saw my messy room when I was walking out of there, although I don't think anyone really did. Anyway, so enough said there. I lost my train of thought now. Oh, yeah, the flag football stuff. All right, so that's what the NFL's sort of turning into, really. Although you're not going to really see a lot of high-scoring flag football. As a matter of fact, you're not going to really see much of a time clock here, really. They're going to have to explain the rules once that comes along, and I doubt anyone's going to watch that going forward. That's a failed investment as far as the NFL goes once that begins. So anyway, so without further ado, this is Let Us Interrupt You, episode 239 here on Tuesday, November 21st, 2023. I am Joseph Olivo. Hopefully now my computer no longer has any problems here, and I didn't lose like half the freaking thing of what I was saying beforehand or just completely skip it, really. But the Super Bowl rematch did happen last night. Game of the year type mentality. This game from start to finish was a interesting start. I figured Kansas City was in a struggle last night against this Philadelphia defense, but they really they couldn't get anything going. I'm going to start out with the Kansas City drive here. So the first play of the drive, they get sacked. Actually, let me pull the plays on here. This is only showing me the drives that Kansas City had last night. So here's how it started here. First possession here. Mahomes trying to throw it Noah Gray. That's an incomplete pass. Then Mahomes gets sacked by Harrison Reddick. Reddick couldn't get him in the Super Bowl on the second play of the drive. He loses 9 yards there. Then Mahomes throws for a screenplay. Only gets 4 yards out of that one. That's a 3-and-out there. And I don't know what the hell just happened, but that just I don't want to see a new iPhone. I'm not gonna. Anyway, Townsend had a 37-yard punt that was out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Eagles' first possession, Swift gets a running play from 3 yards out. Tranquil gets a tackle there. Swift again getting 1 yard. Then Hurts trying to drop back to pass, and he gets sacked. So 3 now go the Eagles at this point. The Chiefs get the ball right back. Second possession for the Chiefs. After a 40-yard punt by Mann, it was a touchback at the Kansas City 20. Pacheco runs for 3 yards there. Then Pacheco gets into this hurry-up mode. He runs for about 20 yards. He's pushed out of bounds at the Kansas City 47-yard line. Kadarius gets a little running sweep play of his own. He gets 14 yards there. Then Mahomes throws it to Harmon for about 5. Pacheco loses 2 yards. Then Mahomes throws it for 7 yards to Kadarius Toney for a first down. A couple of plays after the flag, Mahomes is pushed passing over to Rice. He gets pushed out of bounds at the 10-yard line for a 14-yard play. It's a first down. A few plays later, third and goal after Pacheco's 7-yard run out of the pocket. Bird there misses a wide open Justice Winslow there. He's in the end zone. Justice Watson for a touchdown there. 10 plays, 80-yard drive. They were all in man of this one here. Bird was playing zone, left Watson open there, and get the Chiefs a 7-0 lead at that point. Second possession for the Philadelphia Eagles. They can respond. Jalen Hurts throws into Devontae Smith. He runs out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Again, 20 there. Swift runs 7 yards there. Gets tackled by Brian Cook and Snead. Then Hurts runs it for 6 yards. Then Swift runs it for 3. And then Hurts is trying to throw a pass to DeAndre Swift. He gets 2 yards there. Twinkle is called for illegal use of the hands to the face. That drive continues. A couple plays later, Jalen Hurts throws to Devontae Smith again. He gets 11 yards there for a first down to the Chiefs' 21-yard line. They're in Kansas City territory at that point. Swift runs it for 4 yards there, runs it for 17 yards there, gets the first down, and he runs it in himself again for a 4-yard touchdown. The game is tied at 7. That was a 9-play, 75-yard drive, 5 minutes, 3 seconds. The Chiefs before that had 10 plays, 80 yards in about 5 or 6 minutes. Chiefs again get the ball right back. Mahomes hands it to Pacheco. He gets no gain. Pacheco again gets 1 yard. Mahomes tries to scramble up the middle. He gets 2 yards there. Flag is on Kansas City for holding. That gets declined. Ball goes right back to Kansas, to Philadelphia. Hurts, a few plays into the drive, tries to throw for A.J. Brown. That gets picked up by L'Jarius Sneed. His groin was touched down by contact by, I believe that was Devontae Smith or somebody else that came in contact with him as the calves bumped into each other. Now Mahomes starts his drive out here. 13 yards to Watson, the guy who got the first touchdown pass. That's a first down. Pacheco gets 9 yards. Then he gets 2 yards in the next play. Mahomes connecting to Travis Kelce for 7 yards. Then a couple plays later, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he gets a first down after a couple of passing plays of Kelce and Mahomes scrambling. Edwards-Helaire runs it for 12. Then Mahomes looking for Watson, and he gets picked off in the end zone by Kevin Byard. That's a touchback. That puts the Eagles out to the 20-yard line there. Inadvertent throw. So back-to-back turnovers by both teams. Swift runs it for 10 yards. He gets a first down. Then Hurts loses 7 yards. He gets sacked by Chris Jones. Then Hurts passing short right to Jake Stoll. Dallas Goedert did not play in the game. They're shorthanded with their 2 tight ends here. Hurts throwing it the 3 yards to the Stoll. After that, he was sacked again. Back again by Chris Jones. So Jones had back-to-back sacks. That led to a Chiefs touchdown drive, which will fast forward into this one here. So after a defensive offside penalty, it was 3rd and 2. Pacheco runs for 12 yards. He gets the first down to the Eagles 25. They're in Eagles territory. Few plays later, Mahomes is going to throw to Travis Kelce 4 yards in the end zone. That's after Pacheco's 2 big runs to get into the deep in the Eagles red zone territory. Kelce gets his 51st career touchdown reception from Patrick Mahomes, giving the Chiefs a 14-7 lead. Then Hurts again, first possession. McDuffie, he forces a sack and a fumble, and recovers it and Hurts recovers it at the 16-yard line. That's for no gain there. Hurts again looking for Gainwell there. He gets 4 yards. Next play, Hurts again sacked again. That's 4 sacks in the game by the Kansas City defense by this point in time. They had 6 overall in the game. That's up a punt there, and that's up a Chiefs field goal here at the end of the half. Mahomes looking for those into Watson. Mahomes throwing to McKinnon for 4 yards, and Mahomes spiked the ball. That led to a field goal by Harrison Butker from 43 yards out. It's 17-7 at the half here. Fast forward a little bit after the punts, back-to-back punts by both teams. The touchdown drive that really changed everything in this game here. Hurts throwing it to Devontae Smith for 9 yards. Then Hurts runs out of the middle for 2 yards there. Swift runs for 35 yards up the middle. That's a first down. They're in Kansas City territory at the 15-yard line. Not sure who's trying to call me here. Oh, it's my mom at this point. I'll call her back. Hurts again throwing it to Devontae Adams for about 5 yards there. Not Devontae Adams, sorry. Devontae Smith. And then Hurts, he runs it himself. Quarterback draws it 10 yards out. 17-14. Chiefs still got the lead. They're up by 3. Now the Chiefs get the ball right back here. Mahomes throwing to Rashid Rice, the rookie at SMU. He catches that for 17 yards. They're at the 42-yard line. Then Pacheco runs for 6 yards there. Kelce's call for a holding. This one was pretty obvious at that point. Tuck and turn there. He just threw Bradbury into the ground. Let me see here. 1st and 20. Mahomes throwing to Rice again. That's good for 6. Then Mahomes trying to throw to Montez Valdes Scantling there. Flag is out. It's called Slay is called for a pass interference. You said if you want about that one at that point in time there. I hate those pass interference, spot of the foul calls. Anyway, that's good for us. That was a 16-yard penalty, by the way. Pacheco runs it for 2 yards. Then Mahomes trying to look for Martez Valdez-Scantling. That's incomplete again. Sweat was coming on the pressure there. Mahomes trying to throw to Kadarius Toney. Eli Ricks was called for legal contact. He was going in there for Eric Ayotte, who's at that point done for the year with a torn ACL. A couple plays later, after Mahomes throwing it at Marcole Hurry for 7 yards, he throws a McKinnon gives it to McKinnon for 7 yards for a first down. Nice little run play. Then a couple plays later, Mahomes throwing to Kelce for 4 yards. 3rd and 6, Mahomes throwing to Kadarius Toney. He's a 1 yard short. Then Pacheco runs it up for 2 yards. He gets the first down. Then Mahomes trying to throw to Travis Kelce. The ball is stripped out by Roby. Bradley Roby forced the fumble. Morrow recovered at the 10. It was reviewed, and the call did stand. Kelce, and that really is what changed the game at that point, despite the fact that Philadelphia went in a 3-and-out, and the Chiefs had a punt as well. Mahomes had a lot of bad passes tonight in this game, though. Mahomes had a pass of 17 yards to Watson, but they had a chance here on 3rd and 4 for Watson again. That's incomplete. They had the punt here. And this right here was a game-winning drive here in the 4th quarter here. Hurts, 1st and 10 from the 42 to the Kansas City 1 yard line there, 41 yards. This was almost a touchdown right here. And then Jalen Hurts sneaks it up the middle there, his second rushing TD of the night. Eagles take the 21-17 lead. Late 4th quarter, deep throw to Martez Valdez-Scantling here, or Martez Valdez-Scantling. He drops the ball. Then there was a holding call here, or intentional grounding. Mahomes tried to throw it away. He was out of the pocket, but he did not cross the line of scrimmage. Then they go for it again on 4th down. That's incomplete. Ball game over. The Philadelphia Eagles go into Kansas City, and they beat the Kansas City Chiefs 21-17. This was an unbelievable game. Let me tell you, unbelievable. This game was unbelievably good. It was not a game of the year type mentality. It was really low scoring, very defensive struggling affair here. And it did kind of show here in this game. I'll give you the stats right now for this one right now. So for Mahomes, 24 for 43, 177, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Jalen Hurts, 14 for 22, 150 yards. He was sacked 6 times in the game. Mahomes was sacked twice with that intentional grounding. Hurts did not have a passing touchdown, but he did have 2 rushing touchdowns in the game. 124 passing yards that Kansas City Chiefs allowed this game. The Chiefs got 168 out of it, because Mahomes technically was only sacked once in the game. They had 170 yards rushing on the ground. They outgained the Eagles 336 to 238. This was a wild game. Pacheco had 19 carries for 89 yards. I don't know how he didn't get a rushing touchdown in the game. I really couldn't tell you that one there. Kelce, though, 7 catches for 44 yards. He got a touchdown. Watson had 5 catches for 53 yards. And this continues the story here. There was no Taylor Swift in the game. The mom was there. Donna Kelce was there, watching her 2 sons battle it out. Jason Vine got a win over his brother. I don't think Jason has ever beaten his brother, but to beat him here in his own place here, Super Bowl rematch in Arrowhead, noisy stadium, prime time, big win for Philadelphia here, and a big way to really, drive the point home. They are the team to beat in the NFC at this point. Anyway, A.J. Brown, 1 catch for 8 yards. He was shut down in the game. Julio Jones had 2 catches for 5 yards. Devontae Smith, 6 catches for 99 yards. He was the man that stepped up here. And this was the first signature win for Devontae Smith here. If A.J. Brown had a rough night, then Smith would step up. This was a proven point here since A.J. Brown has been on this team. Devontae Smith has been looked like the guy who was stuck in the shadow. He emerged last night, and he made a name for himself in Arrowhead. And this is a performance that will be remembered for a long time here in a low-scoring affair with a number 2 guy it's a statement game like that he needed to win here. That big 41-yard play made a difference there at that point. Even that Kelce fumble in the end there, and then them going for late in the game on 4th and 25. Basically, what happened with Detroit early in the year, back in Week 1. This is their second home loss of the year for Kansas City, by the way, too. One thing to note here, I think the Kansas City Chiefs are in trouble here without excellent wide receivers. I mean, they had a rough night, granted, but Kelce just was not himself tonight. It showed that the bye week didn't help. There was a lot of rust in Kelce's game tonight. There was a lot of rust with the Chiefs, or the whole Chiefs offense in general. And the bad weather can come in effect with that sometimes as well, but the bye week didn't really much help. You're going in there against a very tough team that you just beat in the Super Bowl barely last year, wanting revenge. They were motivated to kick your ass in that game last night, and they were down 17-7. You're outscoring 14-0. The Chiefs are at this point now, like, I don't think they've lost their greatness this year, but I think at this point now they're hanging on by a thread here for that home field advantage at this point, and they're going to need that home field advantage throughout, and a little bit of bye there, rest time again, because they got a tough one coming. This right here was a statement game for the Philadelphia Eagles last night. It really was. I think if these two teams meet up again in the Super Bowl here, I don't see how Philadelphia doesn't win it again here, because they have figured this team out now at this point. The way they shut down Travis Kelce last night, barely in that game, him going one-on-one with most of the defenders last night. I didn't really see a lot of double team last night. I saw mostly man for about 60 minutes of that football game last night. Man coverage like swarming here. Then the blitzing here. Granted, they didn't get to Mahomes like they got the Hurts in this game here, but that offense came to play last night in that second half, and you guys were asleep behind the wheel. I don't know if I mean, this may be right now a little interesting to say here, but I mean, I don't think Kansas City's a team to beat here. They're still a contending team, Super Bowl contending team, but they're not the tops anymore at this point. They're not the tops anymore. As far as that home loss last night and the way they played, and granted, their defense showed up, but I mean, their offense didn't. McCall Harmon was a no-show. Kadarius Toney was a no-show. Rashid Rice put his best foot forward. Watson put his best foot forward. And this seems to be the common theme here, but Mahomes is not the magic guy that he is, the magic wonder that he is. That was my takeaway from this whole thing. I don't know how anybody else would have taken this, but the way this played out from start to finish, Mahomes can't do good in bad weather games. He can't do it. He couldn't do it in the cold snow game against the Denver Broncos, even though it barely snowed and it stopped snowing once the game had started. He couldn't do it with the flu. And he couldn't do it against a Detroit Lion team that you came in overconfident at that point in time and thought you could have done it without Travis Kelce. If Travis Kelce is banged up, which apparently he was banged up, he apparently aggravated his ankle, and he wasn't 100%, he lost his fastball at that point. Kelce lost his momentum, and he was not speeding up at all at that point in time. And since he dinged himself up in that holding call, it was an off night for him. He just wasn't really himself in this game. I got to be honest here. If Kelce's gonna have to, if this is on Kelce to carry the team on his back at this point, no wonder why this guy's been pondering retirement. And he's been pondering that on the show. I mean, it was brought up in the show last week that he's been pondering retirement at this point. I mean, could this be his last season? I know it's very far-fetched to say, and maybe I'm going off the rails by saying that here, but I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong for thinking it. And just the idea of it, I don't see how no one else could think differently after that. After that performance last night, that looked like to me the entire team relied on Kelce last night with a bad wheel last night. That's what it looked like to me. Even Mahomes. And Mahomes, who you thought could throw to anybody here, it didn't seem like that last night. I don't know if it's a trust issue with some of the guys at this point, if it's lack of confidence that he has with Toney, if it's lack of confidence that he has with McCall Harmon. I don't know. But it definitely showed last night. And when you play man-to-man all night like that against Mahomes, he's bound to get a turnover here. I can't remember a game where a team played man-to-man for 60 minutes without Mahomes turning it over. I can't think of a time. And I have not seen it yet in the NFL level, and this guy's been in the NFL for nearly 6 years. So that was my takeaway from last night's game. I don't know how anyone else was going to take that, really, but be it as it may, that's how this really turned out last night, and it was kind of shocking. Let's just put it that way. Let me give you all my Thanksgiving predictions, because I will have a show on Friday, so I'm only going to do the Thursday and probably even Black Friday pick. I'll probably be airing this game before the Black Friday pick comes on anyway. I will review the Black Friday game on that Saturday, because the schedule is this week, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. That is the plan for this week. There is no show on Thursday. So that's why I'm going to give my Thursday picks and my Black Friday picks now. So we got Packers-Lions at Ford Field, Detroit, Michigan. Commanders-Cowboys at Arlington, Texas. Of course, the Cowboys are going to be playing at home on Thanksgiving. And you have the San Francisco 49ers, who are now without Talavola Halunga, who is a Troy Polamalu in disguise. And I think he's trying to bring his style back to the game at this point, but who knows? A lot of people buying his jersey. I think some people are buying his jerseys. I've seen some 49er fans with Brock Purdy jerseys and Halunga jerseys at this point, and Fred Warner jerseys and Boza, now even young jerseys. I've seen that being promoted around, and I've seen fans wearing those jerseys. So anyway, I'm going by what I heard today on the radio today about that state of the NFL. It's like, is anybody buying defensive players jerseys out there, or are they buying their offensive player jerseys? Like, it's just, not a lot of big names in the NFL, but who knows? Anyway, you also got Dolphins Jets at MetLife again. No Aaron Rodgers. Tim Boyle is your starter. Become a meme at this point after that embarrassing loss to the Buffalo Bills that past Sunday. I will start with the Thursday night primetime, because this is an interesting one. It's in Loon Field. It's in Seattle. They're just coming off a horrible loss to the LA Rams, which, by the way, the Rams swept them this year. Just FYI. My prediction here is the 49ers get the win. I think this will be honestly, I think this would be more like a statement win. I mean, you talk about a team that wants to drive the point home. I know there's rivals here, but I think Seattle needs to be, right out of the gate here. I think they're going to have Brock Purdy. Story here is going to be Reese Witherspoon versus Brandon Ayuk. I don't see Ayuk being covered by anybody. I don't think Ayuk has really been shut down all year. So the fact that you have him, Christian McCaffrey, and George Kittle, it's too much of a force. And I'm going to give this prediction right now, because I think this is just my straight-up opinion here. They're going to go to Seattle, and they're going to crush Seattle. They're going to do exactly what they did at Jacksonville. They're going to provide so much pressure to Geno Smith, it will be funny. I think we're going to see 7 or 8 sacks in this game. This is going to be like one of those, because this is like one of those calm down moments on Thanksgiving here, where it won't even matter. It won't be a close game. It won't be competitive. It'd be like that Buffalo Bills Saints game from a couple of years ago, where that game was a complete wash and people fell asleep watching it. So I'm going to take the 49ers here, winning it big. And I think they're going to get the W here. I think they get a 38. Yes, 38 points they will score. I think Brock Purdy will throw for at least 375, 390. And he'll get at least 4 or 5 touchdown passes in this game. I think Christian McCaffrey will be one of those guys that will catch the touchdown. Kittle will have at least 2 touchdowns in the game. Ayuk will get a touchdown here. And I think, honestly, they're going to give just a stick it to Seattle fans play here to Nick Bosa. It's Thanksgiving. Give a guy a moment here. Give him his turkey leg there. He'll get a few sacks in there, and he'll get a touchdown reception as well out of it. I think he'll force a fumble here, get his own turnover there, and make some stuff happen. Him and Chase Young will be sharing turkey legs together with Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth and whoever the new silent reporter is going to be. I forgot her name. It's not Michelle Tafoya anymore. But yeah, that's my pick in that game. Packers-Lions in Detroit. The Lions are 8-2. They will go 9-2. I think they beat the Green Bay Packers. I don't think the Packers have much of a shot here in this game. Love's coming off an emotional high last week, throwing his first career 325-yard game against the Chargers. The Lions get the win here. I think they beat the Packers badly here. I think they do. I think the Lions just go in there. They completely embarrass this Packer team. They don't have the offensive line that could contain Aiden Hutchinson. They don't. So I'm going to take this Lion team to win here. I think it's going to be another blowout once again. I think it's going to be a 44-3 game. I think the fact that you have a banged-up Packer team, just a crapshoot, clueless head coach and Matt LaFleur, who's fooled us for years now, because without Nathaniel Hackett, believe it or not, and Aaron Rodgers, he cannot coach this team. It's pretty simple here. He's been lucky so far with the limited success that he has at this point here. If he proves me wrong here, it's great. I feel bad for Matt LaFleur, though. I do joke about it. I think he is a good head coach. I think he is. It's all good and fun here on the show. But yeah, I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers here, lose this game to the Lions, 44-3. I'm sorry. I have to call it like I see it here. We're going to see a lot of blowouts in Thanksgiving. The Dallas Cowboys at home against the Washington Commanders. This is going to be another blowout for the Cowboys. I expect myself to go 4-0 after this spread here. Micah Parsons is going to make Sam Howell's life a living hell. It's going to be to the point where I think they shut this team out. I think the secondary shuts them out. I think Deron Bland has a forced fumble on McLaurin, then a pick six. I think Mike Parsons also gets a pick six in this game as well. I think we're going to have 2 pick sixes in this game. Completely annihilate the Commanders. I think they did. I think the Commanders are done. 11-point underdogs to beat the Cowboys. That's not happening. If you can't beat Tommy DeVito, I don't know how you survive against it. I think the Cowboys get the win, though, and I think they seriously get the win here, 38-0. I think they shut out the. I think they do. We're not going to see a lot of pleasant games here. This is going to be like absolute demolition derby here when it comes to these teams, because I don't expect these games to be close. I don't. Look at the point spreads at this point. There's not 1 point spread under 3 here. 7.5 for the Lions, plus 6.5 for the Seahawks, minus 11 for the Cowboys. That means they're favored, obviously. Plus 10 for the Jets, which I'll get into right now. The Dolphins and the Jets. I'm taking the Miami Dolphins here to. This will be a good game to start off with, but let's be realistic here. Tyreek Hill's going to go off in this game. He's going to get his big yardage here. Waddle will go off in this game as well. I think Tua will have 4 touchdowns thrown in this game. The Jets will try and make it something, but it won't matter. 31-13. The Miami Dolphins will be the New York Jets. I gotta say realistically here, Tyreek Hill's gonna be too much for that New York Jets secondary. I'm just saying. Last year you didn't have Tua. This is basically this is like the FU tour that the Patriots were on back in 2016. This is what I think of when I think of the Miami Dolphins this year and what they have this year for a team. They got a team this year that's going to probably win the AFC East. How they're a number 4 seed right now, I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. Fact of the matter is, this game made it more of a fight with the Chiefs in Germany than Jacksonville did. They made a stupid decision, the dumb decision here. Jacksonville, of all teams, really should be a 4 seed, really. But again, I don't know. It really does make you wonder. It really does. I think it's is Jacksonville undefeated against their division this year? No. They have the same. They lost at home to Houston this year, and Houston right now is on the verge right now of getting that first place before Buffalo does. I'm just saying. So those are my picks for the Thursday events. There is one college football game on, I believe, for this week. I'm going to try to do – I think all the college games are on Friday as well. So I'm going to give you my college picks right now for that. I'm waiting for that to load up right now at this point. I'm going to see how long I've been on here so far. And right now I'm on a black screen. Although I'm about 40 minutes into the show, which isn't too bad here, but yeah. Obviously, Jordan Travis is out for the year. Hold on 1 second. Oh, no. I thought someone was outside my house. There's only one game on for Thursday. I'll do the Friday picks. Actually, I'll get something to these picks now because I'll probably be on during the games. I'll probably be on at 12 o'clock on Friday. But I'll do the Ole Miss Mississippi State pick right now. I'm taking Ole Miss over Mississippi State here. Ole Miss is ranked 13th. I'm taking 16th ranked Iowa over Nebraska. I'm taking 14th ranked Oklahoma over TCU. Tulane over Texas University of San Antonio. I'm taking 9th ranked Missouri over Arkansas. 7th ranked Texas over. I'm taking Oregon over Oregon State. They are at Eugene. Well, I'm really taking. I would have taken the other team if they were Oregon State. but they're not. So I'm along with Black Friday as well, be reviewed on Saturday. So that's the plan now going forward. I'm going to get into the NHL games that were on last night. There were a lot of good games on last night. The Bruins lost in overtime to the Tampa Bay Lightning 5-4. Hagel scored a game-winning goal for the Lightning here. I'm going to give you goals here. So Tanner Jennett got a goal, wrist shot goal. This is by Tyler Mote and Mikey Esmond. Sacha got a wrist shot goal that was assisted by Pasternak and Marchand. Nick Paul got a tip-in shot with Mikhail Servich and Steven Stamkos with an assist. David Pasternak got a goal in the third period, and John Breacher got a goal in the as well for the Bruins. Charlie Coyle got a goal for the Bruins right before that. Austin Watson got a slap shot goal, and Steven Stamkos tied it up in regulation. And with about minute 19 in overtime, Brandon Hagel got the game-winning goal, giving Lightning their 9th win of the year, and giving the Bruins their 3rd overtime loss of the season, making their record 13-1-3. Bruins last night, pretty good last night. Had 41 saves despite allowing 5 goals. It's going to be a tough one here. You're not going to be great a lot in this game here. I don't think this was a setback for him, really. It was just a fact that it was an off night in Tampa Bay in early November. That's how you got to look at it here. Lohr was a -1. Was a -1 last night. So was McAvoy. 4 shots on goal for McAvoy, 1 on Laurel. Mitchell had 1 shot on goal. Lindholm had 2 shots on goal. Did not really do much of anything last night here. Pasternak had 8 shots on goal last night, had the 1. Breach had his goal. Coyle had a goal. They all each did it in 1 shot. Matthew Petros didn't really do much in this game, really. Had a couple of had no blocks in the game. Nothing really to speak of here, really. You had 2 blocks by Steen, 1 hit by Steen. Sacha had nothing going on as well. For Tampa Bay side of the puck, Johansson had 23 saves on his 27 attempts. The story was that everyone stepped up to the plate here. Stamkos had 5 shots on goal, despite having to be a -1 here, had 1 assist here. What the difference maker? Hedman had 3 assists. It was a +3 last night. They had 1 assist. And the Lightning just outplayed the Bruins really a little bit here. This was a case of the Lightning showing up to play here. They were ready to go here. And that was that. Florida Panthers beat the Edmonton Oilers last night 5-3. Mikolov scored twice as the Panthers overcame a 2-goal night from McDavid. Connor McDavid. And yes, McDavid is back here. He got his 2 goals last night. Leon Drosy with a -2 last night in the effort, last night with a 1 assist. Evander Kane got a goal in there as well. For Florida, you had 1 goal by Bennett. You had 1 goal by Stullen, 1 goal by Viken, and 2 goals by Mikula to really put the game out of reach there. Dallas Stars beat the New York Rangers 6-3. The Nashville Predators beat the Colorado Avalanche 4-3 last night. Vancouver improves to 13-5-1 with a 3-1 win over the Sharks. LA Kings go to Arizona to beat the Coyotes 4-1. And in overtime, the Calgary Flames beat the Seattle Kraken 4-3. Anderson had 1 goal, 2 assists for Calgary. Dunn had 1 goal, and Decord had 22 saves for Seattle last night, but it was not enough. Valdez had 28 saves. Huberner, Lindholm, McIntyre, and Anderson had the goals last night. Anderson had 2 assists in the following last night for the Canucks. They scored 2 goals in the period. Second period to be exact. Laffy had a goal. Miller had a goal. Hughes had a goal in the victory last night. San Jose 3-14-1. Ugly night last night. There's no hockey on tonight. The Bruins play the Florida Panthers on Wednesday. Edmonton Oilers play the Carolina Hurricanes. Chicago Blackhawks play the Blue Jackets. New Jersey Devils play at the Detroit Red Wings. New York Rangers are at the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Flyers are at the New York Islanders. Calgary Flames are at the Nashville Predators. Vegas Golden Knights are at the Dallas Stars. Vancouver's going to Colorado. San Jose's going to Seattle. Winnipeg Jets are at Tampa Bay. Buffalo's at Washington. St. Louis is at Arizona. And Montreal is at Anaheim. That is a Thanksgiving Eve overload of hockey on Wednesday night. That is on tomorrow night starting at 7. Let's go to the NBA. A lot of crazy things happened in the NBA last night. Not really great things, really. The Celtics lost in overtime. Mikal Bridges got the game-winning shot in 6.6 seconds in the 121-118 win. Jason Tatum, that's right, Jason Tatum had 45 points last night, 13 rebounds, and 6 assists last night in the game. LaMelo Ball had 36 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists in the winning effort in this game last night. My phone is not standing up here. I'm not sure why. Not sure why this is not sharing the screen here either. Oh, is it not? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was going to share. Okay, I thought I hit share the screen. Okay. Here we go. Now it's going to share the screen. So here it is. So I got the pull up there for you. Have a little bit of Wi-Fi issues here. I have stairs here just now, no lighting in here, and reappear. I'm going to edit that out, but for whatever reason, this YouTube program on this laptop does not allow me to edit things out. Porzingis had 17 points, 8 rebounds, no assists last night. 5 for 14 in the game, 1 for 8 from 3. Jason was 7 for 15, 8 for 10 from the free throw line. Jaylen Brown had 13 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Drew Holiday had 11 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. No Derek White last night. Gordon Hayward got 20 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Mikal Bridges had 14 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 assists, and was 3 for 13 in the game. Had a second 3 in the overtime finale win for the Hornets. Celtics dropped to 11-3 on the first half of this long season here. We're about 13 games into it, or 14 games for them now. They have about 68 more to go. Despite Nikolai Djokovic and the Michael Malone getting ejected for Denver, the Nuggets get a 107-103 win over the 2-13 Pistons last night in Detroit. It was a rough night. Jokic lost his crap within the first 5 minutes. Anyway, but besides that point, other than that, the Celtics losing last night and allowing 11-point lead going to shambles in 6 minutes. This game last night was a real mess here. Reggie Jackson had 21 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists. Caldwell Pope stepped up. He had 20 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Aaron Gordon had 11 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. And Michael Porter Jr. had 14 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 assists. Cade Cunningham, 27 points, 2 rebounds, 9 assists last night in the game for the Pistons. Was not enough. Marvin Bagley III had 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 1 assist. Ivory had 17 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists for the Pistons, but was not enough to be a difference there at that point. They got more points, though. If Djokovic would have stayed in this game, this would have been like a 15-point win at least. At best here. The Bucks beat the Wizards 142-129. Giannis Antetokounmpo went off in this game. I will give you the stat for it right now because I thought I was going to show it on here. I got to keep clicking on the box score here every time. But he did go off in this game. 42 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists. Kyle Kuzma had 22 points, 3 rebounds, and 13 assists. Damian Lillard had 22 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists. Jordan Poole, despite all the trade rumors, 30 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. The Wizards are thinking about trading him at this point. They don't see him as a centerpiece on this team anymore, considering that there were a lot of people that were thinking there was going to be a centerpiece in Washington, but apparently now he's not the cornerstone they were looking for at this point. I don't know where Jordan Poole goes from here, unless he ends up going to Sacramento here, which I kind of hope happens because I think realistically here, we could see a Kings-Warriors rivalry just from that. Draymond Green versus Jordan Poole. Give me that all day. Okay, let's see. Let's get the rest of the highlights here. The Knicks losing to the Timberwolves last night in Minneapolis, 117-100. The Knicks dropped to 8-6. The Timberwolves improved to 10-3. The Warriors finally ending their losing streak. They're now 7-8. They beat the Rockets 121-116. Pelicans smashed the Kings 129-93. And the Miami Heat beat the Chicago Bulls 118-100. And this is the same team who, by the way, at one point was down in the first quarter 22-1 in the first quarter. So there's your little highlight for you. Anyway, enough of NBA there. Let's switch to college basketball. This is allowing me to pull it up here on here, which I don't think it's going to. Oh, it is going to this time around. Okay. Then we'll have a hard time with that one. Let's pull this up real quickly here. Loading it. Let's get to last night's games. Actually, These are not all the games I wanted to review. I'll give you. Go ahead. I'm not going to review all games that were on last night. Just within the top 25 last night. If it gets me that page, which I hope it does. I hope it does. I really hope this does not lead me on the all games where I got to scroll down and find every ranked opponent going into this. Here we go. That's the thing when you click on this as well. It doesn't give you the actual thing you want to get on here. Anyway, Tennessee beat Syracuse yesterday in the Maui Invitational's Stan Sheriff Center in Honolulu, Hawaii, 73-56. Zach Edey and the Purdue Boilermakers beat Gonzaga in Gonzaga last night, 73-63. They outscored in the second half of this one, 43-28. Gonzaga was up by 5 points by halftime. Unfortunately, it was not meant to be. Zach Edey had 25 points, 14 rebounds last night's game. Mike had 14 points, 7 rebounds in about 27 minutes in that game last night. Gonzaga early on right now with Syracuse right now. They're up by 10. 59-49 here. So back-to-back here. Very early game with about 6 minutes to go in the second half. Colorado and Florida State are starting right now. They're tied at 3 right now on CBS Sports Network. You can catch it on there on channel 135 if you are having Cox. If you're on Verizon, I believe if Verizon even have this, I think it's in the 500 section. And this took me right back to the top 25 page. See, this is what I hate about this. I really hate this. Forget it. I'll just for satisfying other people's needs here. I'm actually gonna open this up to on my phone here. It's not gonna connect to my phone that way, but I'll read it from here now. University of Kentucky beat St. Joe's 96-80. Wisconsin upsetting 24th ranked Virginia 65-41. 18th ranked Colorado beat Richmond 64-59. 5th ranked UConn remains undefeated in the Empire, and they beat 15th ranked Texas in the Empire Classic 81-71. Kansas beat Champaign 83-56, and Marquette, 4th ranked Marquette, surviving over UCLA 71-69. Kansas is still number 1 ranked team in the country. I don't know how UConn's not number 1 at this point ahead of Kansas, but that's a little shocking right there. Other than the games I just announced just now, 22nd ranked James Madison playing SIU at 6 o'clock in the Cancun Challenge. Tennessee is playing Purdue. You have 7th ranked Tennessee at 2 ranked Purdue. Number 1 ranked Kansas is at 4th ranked Marquette. So that should be a very interesting showdown between the two. Coming on for tomorrow's basketball right on tomorrow, it's 14th ranked North Carolina Tar Heels taking on Northern Iowa in the Battle for Atlantis. 8th ranked Creighton is taking on Loyola Chicago Hall of Fame Classic. 24th ranked Virginia taking on West Virginia. 13th ranked Baylor taking on Oregon State in the preseason NIT. And you have Battle for Atlantis again with 20th ranked Arkansas at Stanford. Coming on tomorrow for the Atlantic 10 is the following right now. Obviously, URI is playing Johnson and Wales University. Central Connecticut is taking on UMass. Bucknell taking on St. Bonaventure, and Duquesne taking on Nebraska. Coming on later on tonight is LaSalle at 9th ranked Duke. University of Las Vegas taking on Richmond, and Boston University at Davidson in the preseason NIT little tournament they got going on. Big East stuff going on. Not really much going on in that one. We just have the one game today. No PC until, well, really Friday. Wednesday coming up right now is the Villanova Texas Tech game. Very surprising that Villanova is actually unranked going into this week. Not sure what the rankings are. Creighton's at Loyola Chicago. You got Seton Hall taking on USC at the 23rd ranked. Florida Atlantic is 18th ranked. Butler is not ranked. But Friday is Layton taking on Providence. Bryant's taking on Xavier. Manhattan taking on 5th ranked UConn. That is for the top 25 for Friday is Duke and Stonehead. 17th ranked Alabama taking on Ohio State. 25th Mississippi State at Nicholas State. And 6th ranked Houston is home against Montana. For Thursday, it's Penn State at 12th ranked Texas A&M. 21st ranked Michigan State at number 3 Arizona for the Battle for it. That's on at 4 o'clock p.m. on Fox. I can see why now they didn't want to do the Cowboy game on Fox. That makes sense now. Anyway, so we got that out of the way. We did the NHL, we did college football, we did the NBA. I got some news though. Joey Bosa is on the IR. He is going to be out for at least 4 weeks. But that's not the only interesting news that came on the boards here right now at this point. Despite the Bosa injury, I heard about the Kelce retirement here and the Kelce romance here, with Taylor Swift calling her hilarious and a genius. And there's a little interview with TMZ and Entertainment Tonight, and as well as CBS Sports. Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers, is no longer the offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He got his pink slip. T. Brown's running back coach Eddie Faulkner to that position here. About damn time. I don't know why this guy was around for so long. I don't know what hold he had over Omar Khan, the GM. But man, whatever he did, and maybe it was the likes of Mike Tomlin keeping him around for a lot longer than he should have been around. This guy should have been fired right after Big Ben retired. I don't know how he kept the job, but one of the worst offensive coordinators I've ever seen, to go on 54 straight games without having a game where you're over 400 yards of offense right now. I don't know why you would keep that streak. I don't know if this is just they want to have that identity here, but it is what it is. Anyway, before I get into more NFL news stuff, here's some more college basketball scores right now. I'm going to scroll it down there for you because I'm not going to read all the scores to you out of there. In case you are all wondering what's going on in college basketball, here you go. Here's all your scores you need to know. These were all last night, by the way, just FYI. Okay, so I got that. Out of the way for normal screen, because I know sometimes when I do this stuff, it comes out buffery. I cannot edit that. I don't know why. It will not allow me to edit that at all. Anyway, Shaq Leonard, by the way, for the Indianapolis Colts, was cut and released today. Lucic Nudes, by the way, in the for the Bruins, was found not guilty in his misdemeanor stuff right now. I guess he was coming home late, I guess, and there was domestic abuse right now. He could not find his cell phone, apparently. I guess the wife was, and them got in a little tussle, I guess. I don't know what the full story of that whole thing was, but that's what I got the intel on that. That's really about it. There's not much else for me to get into here to discuss here on the show. I am out. I will see you all again on Friday. I hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving. You know my social media. It's Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok. That's it. That's all. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your turkey. Gobble, gobble. Oh, actually, before I go, for all you Kansas City Chiefs fans out there last night that want to come at me last night for the for the fact that right now that you made it for picking the Eagles last night, and for coming at me last night about this whole thing, well, enjoy this. Enjoy this. Not the advertisement that's playing right now, but enjoy this little message back to you. Yeah, that's for the Kansas City Chiefs fans that told me that the Chiefs were going to win last night in prime time. I just didn't feel it last night. I had a funny feeling Philadelphia was going to win it. What do you want me to tell you? And it showed that last night that that Kansas City right now has lost their fear factor, which is their home field advantage here, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. That was a important one they had to win last night. They couldn't get the job done in the rain. You know, what are you going to do? All right. Enjoy the rest of your week, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.